2028 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens' comments? You can come up and state your name.
First place,
State your name and address.
yeah, the first place I want to say, that's the first time I've done a pledge of allegiance in a long time, and I can't, it's very difficult for me, having served my country for 20 years and saw everything that I did the first 5 years destroyed for the rest of my time in. We need not wonder what's happened to our country, because I saw it. We lived it.
We have 3 minutes for public comments.
My name is Larry Baker. I live in Tanglewood Lane. We've been here for 43 years, which was never intended. I never intended to stay here, and I wish the hell I hadn't. The biggest problem I'm having right now is the problem I've had most of the time I've been here. It's the fact that we don't have any law enforcement. I want to know why. I want to know if you can help. And who do I call when I need law enforcement?
If you need assistance, you can call, if it's an emergency, you can call 911, and if it's not an emergency, you call Montville Troopy State Police.
Montville Troopy.
State Police, yep.
Are they in the book?
Yep.
If you've got a book still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look in that book sometimes and I'm disgusted at what's in there now.
It would be the State Police, Troopy, the Montville Barracks, Troopy. They're police.
I had a little talk with the North Police Department here short time ago. Got some advice from them. That's why I'm here today. One of the things they suggested is that I talk with the Selectmen in town. You see, when I grew up in southwestern Maine, I was born in 1942 during World War II. I've seen a lot of the changes and everything and the destruction of almost everything in this country. From what we had. We saw our whole economy destroyed after World War II from what Harry Truman did. Plastics coming into this country. We didn't even know where they were coming from, and we didn't know what the heck was going on at the time. It didn't take us too long to find out. But, see, on this law enforcement thing, at that time we had our own town sheriff. He was with the county sheriff's department, Oxford County, southwestern Maine. It was a very good system because having someone local from your town, he knows everybody, he knows the town, everybody knows him. You know, we had very few dishonest people at that time, very few. Those that we had, most of us knew who they were, and, could deal with them appropriately and stay away from these people, but you couldn't completely divorce yourself from, that situation. Something would always come up. Now you've got dishonesty and corruption all over this country. Everything. There's not one industry in this country left that isn't dishonest and corrupt. Every single industry in this country. If you don't know that, you can't recognize it. Because there's an awful lot of people who can't and don't
want to.
Right. Because they're dishonest themselves. But I'll take your advice and I'll contact Troop E down there. that's one of the things that, the, North Police Department mentioned. But from what they told me, I had no idea where in the heck they were talking about. I've never, see, there used to be a barracks on Route 2A, right off from Regan Beach Park Bridge. That went somewhere, I don't know, quite a long time ago. And ever since then, I had no idea where they were.
Yeah, they're in Montville, and they're right on, 395.
Just
After
past where,
Norwich, just after Norwich.
just past where the tolls used to be, on 395.
Oh, really?
That's where the state police are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the east side.
I'll be darned. I've probably gone by there, but I didn't, what the heck is that place?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on one side of the highway, and the mobile station plaza's on the other side, so they're right across from each other.
All right. All right, well, I'll get a hold of them and see what they advise.
Yeah.
It's this incident that the big problem I'm dealing with right now. Some very, very dishonest people that we hired to do the job on the house. Where we got damage from limbs coming down off these big oak trees that these dumb, stupid, ignorant people left all over our neighborhood. I've been taking down a lot of them because I'm a professional woodsman. I'm only 78 years old. I'll be 79 in a couple of weeks, but don't make no difference to me. I know how to do it. All right? I just cut a whole damn load from a neighbor up the street. They had a top of a big oak broke off right beside their driveway and damaged 2 cars. They put in claims on both cars with the insurance company. Of course, the insurance company accepted and did something with one of the claims, but refused to accept the claim. Something about 1 tree, 1 car, or some damn thing they got in a policy or something. But the insurance industry is one of the most dishonest and corrupt industries we have in this country now. I saw that all happen. You know? So, you know, I went up there and cleaned up that top and everything for them and everything. I asked them about all these other things. If you can take them down, you know. See, when you leave, especially oak, but pine too, in a house lot, they get a foundation, digging your septic and digging out stones and digging out the other stumps that they might have, you know, taken down trees to clear enough to build a house or something. But you leave them right there, those root systems get damaged in that process. And they cannot grow properly from that point on. Ants will get in there, other ants will get into those busted roots, whatever, and they'll start eating. And they, of course, maintain a very large population, and they eat. They've got a wonderful place in there where they can eat for 30, 40, 50 years. They can eat the inside of that oak tree right out. 3 of those trees that I took down there were completely hollow. Great big oak. 2 red oak and 1 white oak. Completely hollow. How long would they have stood? For these storms from global warming, that's another thing. You know, getting worse and more frequent. You know, which is why that top was busted off that one.
You have about a minute left.
You know, I had limbs come down from 2 trees, one right between my house and the neighbors, and one right next to my front steps. That busted corner off the side of my house, and we got the insurance people in to take a look at things and whatnot, and they wrote a nice report, which I have here. So I don't want to go into it here. I didn't think you'd be asking you know, questions that would need that kind of answers, you know. But we hired these people to do the work that the insurance company said needed to be done. And we started having problems almost immediately when that damage was done from critters getting in there. Squirrels were the worst problem. And I trapped 5 gray squirrels out of my attic
Wow.
and relocated them. We still had a couple more in the neighborhood to get in there. And they learned how to get into that box trap, and get the bait and get out of there without getting caught, because they're very, very smart. They're smarter than we are, you know. And, but anyway, we finally got these guys in there to do this. They were roofers. And they brought in all the roofing materials and everything to replace the roof. They didn't bring in anything to do the eaves and the fascia boards and all that kind of, all the other things that had to be done. And I kept mentioning to them, where's this other stuff and how are we going to do this other stuff? And they just kind of grin at you, you know, and say something, you know, nondescript and didn't mean anything, and, you know, well, okay, you know, oh, we get to it or something like this. Well, they didn't get to it. They never intended to do it. They did the roof and did some repair to the subroof on my carport, where I had 2 limbs there off the big one that I've already cut. That's gone. They did repair some of the subroof there. But the rest of the actual house damage that was done, they didn't do any of it. And in the process, unbeknownst to me, they were using 2 of my ladders that they grabbed out of my carport, which they never asked me or anything. I didn't even know it. And when they loaded up, they seemed to be in a hurry to get loaded up and get out of there. Now I know why. Because they took my ladder too. They took my extension line. They put the other little step ladder that, you know, you can use for various
Folds
things.
all up, yeah.
Yeah, they got them now. You can make almost anything out of them, you know. But they're a little heavier and whatnot. I thought the one they were using was their own, and just happened to look like mine, you know. And I never saw them using my extension ladder. But when they were leaving, the guy was sitting there and got in his car, and another car came in to get the other guy's rifle, one of them, I think. And he was sitting there with a big, shitty grin, pardon me, on his face, looking at me. I was telling him, I said, we still have all this work to do that you were supposed to do, but you didn't do it. Yeah, well, see it. Yeah. Next day I went out to clean up, because they left an awful lot of cleanup to be done. I'm still picking up nails, keeping nails.
Did they ever come back?
Pardon me?
Did they ever come back?
No. Well, they never intended to come back. Now they're picking up, and I realized that stepladder that they used was mine, and they had stood that back up, not where I had it, not where they got it, but next to the carport there. But my other ladder, my extension ladder, was gone. I hit the roof. Yeah. That's too much.
Definitely.
You got dishonest people
Yeah.
doing things like that. It's bad enough that they don't do the job and don't do the job properly. But take all the money and then take something else from you, steal your stuff. You know, I've had stuff stolen from me so many times here. People in the neighborhood. We used to have a fellow that lived behind us for a while. He's gone now. He spent some time in jail. Never was brought up properly. Kid. No parenting. Parenting started being ruined right after World War II when our economy was destroyed. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll in the 50s. You know, all that crap started. It's his fault.
Yeah, definitely call True B on that, and they can point you in the direction of who else to contact, as far as the business, reporting the business.
Well, at least I can, talk to them and see what the heck they can do. I know who these guys are. I don't know, I know where they are, but I've never been there. I've never, I couldn't drive right to it. It's right up here in Plainfield, so it's not far away. I'm sure we can find it. But I would like to see some, law enforcement action taken, and I'd like to get my ladder back. I don't care what you steal. It ain't yours, but it's bad enough that we got taken on the house. I've been taken on everything I've done ever since I've been here. This car I got right out here. Terrible, terrible deal. List of fees. I said, what the heck is this? They got an answer for everything now. Most of the answers, you don't have no common sense. Common sense is almost extinct in that country.
Thank you.
Well, there's everything going on here, and I don't see anybody doing anything about it.
Call the police, call the state police, start with them, and go from there. Put in your complaint, and that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, we have no jurisdiction here in town to do anything.
No, I wish you would think about somehow getting some local law enforcement like we used to have.
Yeah,
Because
we
it's
can't
so
do
much
the-
more
We can't do
effective.
the constables anymore and the other.
No, the constables, I remember when we had a town meeting here and that came up. And we knew what they were doing and what they were not doing. So obviously, there's no other recourse than to get rid of those guys. Chasing ambulances and not doing what they were asked to do here in town. Directing traffic at meetings and things like that, helping with parking or whatever, like the constables used to do. They wouldn't do anything, so. And look right now, I mean, there's a lot of the municipal employees right now around here getting paid an awful lot of money, not doing the jobs.
For the town?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Well, not municipal as far as your jobs are concerned. Look at the state people. I've done little jobs cleaning up things for people around here. Ran into a guy up here, who's up here on Water School Road, that works for the state. He's worked for the state for a long time. He's in the bureau, and I forget what they call it now, where they do the inspections for any business that's selling alcohol. Get their inspection, the permit, he said we can't even do it anymore. They have no budget, they have no people. They can't do it. He said everything in the state's gone. Forget it. Dishonest and corruption everywhere. It's all gone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, approval of the minutes.
I've read the minutes, I make a motion that they be accepted.
I second that.
Roll call.
Yes, both of them. The
Motion.
September 21st and the September 14th.
So the motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of those two meetings. Any discussion on them? No, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, hearing none, the minutes are approved. Correspondence and announcements. This is just step one as mentioned. Oh, yes, we do have step one as mentioned, thank you. I'd like to add, the bids. We have the opening of the bids for the plowing salt sand to the agenda, and I'd like to add the formation of the Fort Hill Bridge.
Have them right after driveway permits.
Yep.
In your business.
Yes.
I make a motion that be done.
Second motion to add the mentioned items.
All right, so a motion's been made and seconded to add the opening of the bids and the Fort Hill Bridge committee formation to the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, they're added. All right, correspondence and announcements. We received a letter from Thames Valley Council for Community Action. They do our, the TCCA. We work with them for our they do the senior nutrition program, which is where we get our Meals on Wheels from. They are requesting that we give a one-time donation of $2,000 from our ARPA funds to offset the cost to upgrade the food commissary and improve services to their most valuable workers. We got a notice from Ray Barable, who is our tax attorney. We've been having an ongoing issue with the property on 4 Pequot Trail. And he said a notice that judgment was entered for foreclosure. And that once the town gets the title, then we can move forward with auctioning off the parcel.
Oh, wherever he is there, that piece.
This is 4 Pequot, so.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's moving at least.
Whether we have like over $50,000 in back taxes on that property.
Yeah.
Okay, and I received a letter from Commissioner Dykes about my request for the drawdown on Beachdale Pond. So they declined the drawdown for Beachdale Pond for this year, and because they're doing work on Patchogue Pond, and they didn't want to have to put all the extra water from the drawdowns. But they have said that the DEP staff suggested that we submit a drawdown request for both Beachdale and Beach Pond next year, and they'll do a drawdown for the 22-23 winter season. But we have to, so they've already said they'll do it, but they do still have to send in a request.
Put that in your calendar, like,
I know.
for around February.
They're supposed to be sent, I sent my letter in August, and I think it has to be done by like August 1st or something, or like
So it's spring, we
No,
know
it's
it's
like
early.
you have to do it early. But they said this year that it wasn't because I was waiting, because they already did.
They'll find an excuse anyways.
And just as an FYI, on October 1st, the Nips bottle fees start, which goes into like where the money goes back to the towns. You won't get the money to the town until next year, April 1st, 2022, and then every 6 months after, towns will be getting the money. And I think we were expected to get around 8,000. I couldn't find the list of what all the town totals on it, but I think that it was around $8,000.
Well, just based on the cleanup efforts that we've done over years past, I expect it to be at least 2 mill points.
So the money can be used for the municipality to reduce the impact of litter caused by such solid waste, including but not limited to the hiring of a recycling coordinator, the installation of storm drain filters, design of black solid waste and garbage containers for the purpose of a substitute, a mechanical street sweeper, a vacuum or broom that removes litter, and that's what it needs for. That's just an FYI.
It's something.
It's coming next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all I have. More correspondence or announcements. I don't know if you guys have anything.
No. Okay.
Yep.
So boards and committee reports, we have none. So old business, there was none. New business, we have the dairy farm abatements. You guys each got a copy of the two.
Oh, that was my copy, okay.
We do this was based on an ordinance we passed a couple of years ago, where we have an abatement for the dairy farms in town. We have two applications, one from, the Gallup Farm and one from Sunnyside Farm, so, Gallup.
Want a motion to accept them?
Yep.
I make a motion, we accept the two applications from the two farms in town that are eligible.
Second motion.
So the motion's been made and to accept, the two applications and approve them. So we just, approve both of them. Accept it and approve.
And voted on.
Yes, I'm asking, are we gonna add, not just to accept them, but to approve them as well?
Oh, yes, then I'll amend the motion to accept and approve.
Yep.
So made and seconded.
I'll second it, yep.
Any discussion on the application?
This is a year-over-year thing that we need to help keep these from going.
Every October, yeah.
Okay, so all in favor of
Aye.
accepting and approving, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, leave the
I have here the list of
tax rate.
tax refunds from the tax collector. There are 24 that going to individuals for over tax refunds for overpaid taxes. Any motion to?
I'll make a motion to accept them as requested by the tax collector.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Done.
Okay.
All right, audit, Julie, let's hear it.
So the auditor has finished all the reports except the federal state single audit. That one can't be done yet because the federal government hasn't finished all their guidelines yet. So the federal will have to wait because the state single audit and our audit reports are completed. Do you want the exact numbers and all that? That's almost.
Do we have it available on the town website?
I'll put them on the website tomorrow once they're.
I don't think we need to read the numbers into the meeting. We can put
Okay.
it on the town website for anyone who wants to look.
So we just have to approve the audit.
Approve the audit as she's
Prepared.
I make a motion that we accept the audit as prepared.
I second it.
So returns money to the, I think it was 630. Total 16 from the, Board of Ed. And then the heading comes through, but I can't remember the second. I'll put it on the website tomorrow.
Sorry, motion's been made and seconded to approve the audit as presented. Is there any discussion on it?
Nope.
So all in favor of approving it?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, the audit. Driveway permit, Campbell Road, so we just have to review and inspect it.
I inspected it, it was done, and the job was done excellently. Bill Eccleston was the one doing it. John Police wrote up how they wanted it done, and I make a motion that they be refunded their $1,000 bond.
I'll second that motion.
So
If it's not to your satisfaction, then that's fine.
Done very good.
So the motion's been made and seconded to refund the driveway permit. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, then it will be refunded.
Yeah.
Bid.
The bid and for shipping.
Right. So you've got one of each. All right, so for sand, salt and sand,
Those are the following bids for transfer station and.
okay, yeah, or not. Yeah, we got, so the bid for the transfer station is $200 for plowing and $150 per storm for salt sand. And so
We're paying for salt.
the 200 is over 3 inches. So the 150 per storm for salt and sand, and plowing is $200 for over 3 inches.
if they go with the salt and sand, they make sure that they bring in their own salt and sand. They don't use the town stuff that's
Yeah,
up there.
yeah, that's what that means.
All right,
That's what that's for.
then they make a motion to accept the bid.
And then it's $200 for the bill for plowing.
That's gonna come out of transfer station, isn't it?
We
Budget
don't
or?
usually sand that, though, so there's no sanding on it, unless the guys go sanding.
So the one for transfer station will come out of the transfer station budget.
Yeah.
The one with the salt and sand.
Yeah.
Plowing the transfer station, yeah.
So that,
And it's in Hillwood, yeah.
That's in help the town.
got it.
Yeah, that's their own transfer station.
You still got on your motion?
I'll make that motion, yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to accept the plow, bid. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you get a bid for sand itself? Oh, all right.
We got one.
Still in a sealed envelope. And the winner is?
Screen, sand, and septic sand. So plowing. So we got Jarvin, sand and gravel.
He's been giving it to us for years.
The screen sand is $13.50 per yard, and the septic sand is $14 per yard.
I mean, it's going up a little bit, but,
Doesn't matter.
yes. I make a motion, we accept the bid. Like I say, he's delivered good sand and his, service has been excellent.
Second.
So the motion been made and second that we accept the sand, for screen sand and septic sand bid, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, there. All right, so the last thing we have is the Fort Hill Bridge committee formation, so you got a copy of the description of it. So it's established, and there shall be a Fort Hill Bridge committee established to oversee the replacement of the Fort Hill Bridge. Appointments will begin immediately and end when the project is completed. The committee members will include the project engineer, the grant advisor, at least one member of public works, and other residents or non-residents as appointed by the board of selectmen. And the powers and duties, the Fort Hill Bridge committee will meet to review plans for the Fort Hill Bridge replacement project, and the committee will oversee.
I make a motion to establish the committees that we want.
Yes.
Do we already have a list of people?
We've appointed, we have one volunteer that we appointed, maybe two, or
I
one,
thought you had about 4.
Yeah.
not for this one, it's the other one we have.
Okay, well, I'll second the motion for, forming the committee, as described.
I'll second, I made the motion.
You made the motion, then I have a question, so.
Okay, that's right.
Yep.
All right, so the motion's been made and seconded to, approve the formation of the Fort Hill Bridge committee, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none. And it's on Thursday. At 7:06.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.